In this video, we're going to continue to explore live on 3D, and we're going to create some pavements and some floors and also some openings on these floors. And we're going to also create columns because columns are also part of architecture usually. So I created here these 3 columns. Let me show you here. Right click and show in 3D. So I'm going to orbit around a little bit so we can see it a little bit better. And there you go. So, and that's also a small floor right there, small ceiling, if we can call it like that. So first of all, let me delete the floors that I created so far, so we can do it again together. So let's say that I want to start with some columns here in the front of the building, in the frontal part. So just as usual, if we go here on the left side, we have libraries that we can use and the hierarchy. And from here, the first one is favorite. And then the next is columns. So you should see these columns right here. If you need more, you need to go to the store. But we're not going to do it in this video. So I will select some of these columns. I'm going to go for this rectangular pillar. So I'm going to click and put it right here. You can see I can work in alignment with the rest of the building. So you can see here that's our rectangular pillar right there. Now every time that you insert something, you can always go on the right side and you can see first of all the overall building situation. So how's the elevation, where's the foundation, how big, so where's the base of the building, and then we have stories and other settings we're going to see later. Now, in the first panel at the left, we have the specific properties for that element that we are selecting. And one thing we can do directly is unlock. If there are some properties that are locked, we can unlock them. And we can change, for example, in this case, I will change the height. I want to type here like 3. So this will go all the way up. And then I have the width, which also influences the height. So we can unlock also the aspect ratio. So in this case, I only want to go for the height, and I want actually a smaller width and a smaller depth. So this is the way we can customize this column right here. Then there are also other columns, but we will see them later. You can also continue to keep the button pressed. If you want to do something quickly, you can press the minus or the plus and keep it pressed, so it's gonna like speed up at some point. So this is a rectangular column or a pillar. I also use other columns there in the back. So every time you need one, just click and drag, drop it into the 2D space, and then you can visualize it in a 3D. And depending on which object you are using, for example, this one here has different parameters. This one here on the back, so it has the height, the capital height, the base height, the elevation, rotation. So this one here is a little bit different. Depending on what you choose, may have different parameters here. So here you have flip. You can flip it around. You can also glue it to the floor or glue it like on a other part of the building. Maybe it's better to do it like this on the plan view here, and etc. etc. You have other parameters. Now let's say that I want to create more of this. So what I'm going to do is right click, and I can duplicate, and I can position this. Let's position it like right here. Or I can right click, copy, and then right click and paste. There you go. So when you have more than one, if you right click here, we can, well, show in 3D, move to the selection to a specific floor, and then we have align and distribute. Now align and distribute is perfect for columns and pillars, but right now everything is grayed out. is not actually selectable. Why? Because we need more than one object. So we can either click and drag the left mouse and create a rectangular selection, or we can hold the shift key continuing to select like this. One way or the other, this is a multi-selection. Now, right click. If you want, you can also group these together. You can create a group. Or if we go down, we can now align. Now there are different types of alignments. Left edges means that all the elements will go to the left edge of the selection. So Ctrl Z to go back. Okay, and let's make the selection again. Right click, align. So right edges go the other side. Top edges uses the top edges, which is probably now the best option. So if I go like this, you can see they are aligned to the top, which is the back in this case, if we're looking to the 3D view. Okay, right click, and then we have also horizontal centers, vertical centers. Vertical centers, again, will make them combine all of them in one place, which we don't really want that. Now, what I want to do is align them horizontally. There it is, but they were already aligned to the top or the back in this case. Now, what if I want to have them like nice and organized? So let me just select one and I say, okay, I want to put this in the edge here. I want to put this on the other edge of the building. And then I want to even space between these three. Or you can, again, select more. But let's say I want to have here, well, let's actually create another one. So I'm going to Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V also to copy and paste quickly. And also the software will help you to get them aligned. So let's say I want to align these three. Well, let's align these three, and then I'm gonna keep it this one on this other side. So select, right click, and then I have distribute. Horizontal spacing, if we are in a horizontal line. If we are in a vertical line like this, right click, distribute. Sorry, let me do that again. Okay, I think we need more than two. So, well, if you have just two, you can just use the dashed lines to make it a line. Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V, let's make it three and select them, distribute vertical spacing. It doesn't do anything here. Horizontal, it's spacing them horizontally, but they're not aligned. So remember, then you need to also add an alignment. So this way you can work more precise and nice and neat. And then you have other types here like of spacing and alignment, but I think you get the idea. So I'm just going to, well, let's actually put this here. And if you work nice and slow, you can see that everything will be already aligned. So you don't need to use them every time, but if you want to make sure, well, in that case, use them. So another thing I want to show you now is other architectural elements. For architectural elements, I mean something that is really important for the structure, so for the architecture. And you can see here these are not positioned correctly, so let me select and elevation here. Let's put 0, and I think now that will be good. And then if you want to put more than one in the same position, you know, even without restarting again to copy and paste, you can just copy and paste the parameter you want. So I underline this, right click, copy, select this other one, right click, paste, and press enter. And again, go for the next one, Control V or paste and enter. And make sure also the others, they have the same, yeah, elevation. So everything now it's nice and positioned to the floor. So let's go here and add a floor rectangular. So floors, ceilings, floors, pavements, these are all architectural. So this is the architectural part, but also columns and pillars are architectural. So sometimes here we find something that is good for architecture as well. This is not just furniture, that we also find other stuff. So like the columns, for example. Floor, rectangular, click on the corner there and drag. And I want to position this around these um, objects that I created. Okay, so you can see there that we have some parameters also here. So I can increase the width and I can increase the depth. Well, this is going on the back here. Unfortunately, we don't have like the possibility to um, choose a direction. So I'm just gonna move it and position it again right here. And we can maintain the aspect ratio. Also here, we can lock this. We can lock the geometry. And again, we have elevation, rotation, flipping. So I can increase here the elevation. And it's essentially an extrusion on the floor. Now, every time you create a floor like this, is also going to generate the measurements for the area, which is really, really important. Measuring the area is important for many, in many ways when you're creating architectural project. Also, I can double click here and I can change I can make this a curve in the middle with the midpoint, or I can take the corners and readjust using the corners. So you can see that changing the size will affect the area calculation. Now, down here, you have the possibility to not show the text if you want, or just the size or a note, or a size and a note. And then you can change the font. You can change the way you can display the text, regular, bold, italic, the size of the text. Also from here, you can click and change the size. And colors and other things that you usually find in word processors. Okay, so this is our first rectangular floor. Now you also have polygonal floor. Now polygonal floor is a little bit more complex, meaning that can become a floor having different shapes. So let's say I want to create another floor. Well, let's create it here, for example, next to this one. Okay, so I'm gonna. Okay, so first of all, you can see that this is not a simple rectangle, but I can create, anything with this, any shape essentially. And also, let's say I want to go there and try to follow that arc that I created with the wall. Okay, once it's closed, I press ask, and that's it. So let's go and check that, which is on the 3D view on the other side. There you go. So we have this right now looking like this. So I'm gonna select it, double click to get inside. So you can convert to a curve also here. And I think I don't need this point. So right click, you can add point or remove points. So I will remove this because I want to create an arc in between here. So to follow the pavement and the wall. And I want to create something strange here. And I can do it by changing all these into curves. So if I make up my mind, I can also right click and remove this other point, make something bigger. Or I can right click and add a point in between here. And so on. So you get the idea, I guess. So you have rectangular and polygonal elements, and that goes also for the ceiling. So you can do a rectangular ceiling just the same way we did this. So let me create here a rectangular ceiling. Okay, and it's not going to be visible from the top. You need to move down, and there you go. So you can see it now. You can select it, and you have the parameters here as well. Same goes for the polygonal ceiling. Ceiling poly, it's called. Let me do something else here just to, distinguish it from the, well, I'm gonna go all the way, cover everything, ask, and there you go. That's my, well, it's how it's gonna look like from this view. We can always fix it later. Okay, and if you go to the top, it's not gonna be visible. You can also change the width and the depth right here. And final thing, you can create openings. So if you go here, you can create an opening for the ceiling, which is going to be rectangular or polygonal. So we already know what rectangular means. So I can create it like this, and then we can do it also polygonal. And then press ask. And if we move around, we can see also the thickness of the ceiling right there, where we created those openings. Okay, so this will be enough for this lesson. I hope you enjoyed as usual. And if you did, subscribe to the channel if you didn't already. And also join the channel as a supporter and check our other courses in architecture, 3D design, 3D modeling, and much, much more. So thanks for watching and see you in the next video.